Hello. In the last video, we prepared Docker IO dev image and the container, set it up, connected our Visual Studio Code to them, and used Docker Desktop and used Docker IO image therefore. In this video, the goal is to have a look at Docker Desktop, which tools, what's possible, what can we figure out about our running environment inside this tool, and also to have a quick overview of Docker IO Dev Image tools, what is provided by them. So as we remember, we have this host with Docker Desktop, with Visual Studio Code. We created our environment to set up a human generator, and then we have now an Shopware 6 and container running based on Docker Dev. So let's open our Visual Studio. So as we created last time, repos is with 6dev. There's our project, so we start and attach to them. We have also on the other side we have all the Docker Desktop. So, and we will have a look at this. So under everything's fine. We see the ports which are open. It's not sure if all of them is needed now, but you can remove some of them if needed. We see the images and we see if the images are up to date or not. We can pull the newest version if needed later, remove some if we do not use images. We have the volumes that are the files where Shopware 6 database stuff is inside, and the Shopware volume. If we click there and go to the data, we can also have a look inside the data which lives in the container, even if the container is not running. So it's super helpful. Then we go back to containers. If we click on the container here, we will see the log. That's the time or the logs on the container startup time. So we see here Docker is starting, Docker image tag, which version, build time, copyright. As I mentioned, das ist Web GmbH. Create this great project. So here are all the steps to launch Dockware. What is preparing, what is starting. You see here starting MySQL, starting Mailcatcher, what time is set, starting some Chrome services, PHP version switch because we set it on our Docker Composer YAML file. We have here more information like activating Xdebug, which we will see in one of the next videos, how we debug the container development or plugins in our case. So, and here the last part is about which tools are coming. So we will have a look at Adminer now, and Mailcatcher and PHP Mylog. So therefore, first we have a look at the Adminer. So localhost Adminer PHP. I just copy the URL, switch there, and go to Adminer PHP. So it opens me the login window to get the credentials. We saw this in the last video. We go to docs and search for default credentials here. We have, and for MySQL, here is the MySQL credentials, root. Okay, great. So I type in root, and I see the databases which are on this MySQL instance. I can go to Shopware 6 and see the Shopware 6 database. I don't know, what should we have a look inside? Maybe a card, but it will be empty here, but maybe currency. And we see which currencies are here in the environment, and then can have a look. During development, it sometimes makes sense to look up how the data structure is, but usually use the data access layer provided by Shopware to interact with the environment and with with the entities. Good. Then what do we have also? We have also the mail catcher. The mail catcher is also useful if you are working on, I don't know, some, let me switch to this one. So if I go to the mail catcher, I see there are some mails which are coming in. So if I go here, I'm not prepared, but let's try contact form. So no, test test at web.com. Free test and submit. And the mail catcher, if everything's set up correctly, will catch the mail and I can have a look at this if it works correctly. Plain text, have a look at source, at the headers, and so on. So if you are developing something what used to send mails, or you're just working on the templates or on some flows and so on, super helpful during developing, creating time. Good. Then we have also PHP my logs, so localhost logs. Let's also have a look at this and logs. So here, no, I don't want them. Yeah. So we have the current logs, info logs, refresh time. Maybe we should go down to 15 seconds, and we have kind of investigate what's going on real time. You know. Good. So then, of course, the shop front end, shop admin, and yeah, some additional information. And you can see that's on each time, and here it's running. And yeah, if I interact with the shop here, so then there's the inspect tab. So let us make this bigger. We see all the environment settings, everything, what's prepared, what's mounted, which ports are open. Here we can use terminal. I usually never use this because I work with Visual Studio Code terminal. During development, we see the files, version container files. Let's have a look at this. Yep, that's what's inside the container. So it's the same files that we see here. And we have the stats, so some statistics about if CPU usage is high, memory, network I/O, disk read-write. Maybe if you're investigating an existing shop environment and that's super memory consumption big, then you maybe have here already some first insights. You can use this information. Good. That's a lot of useful information here in the Docker container. What's also important to mention about Docker containers here, yeah, you can, you see also you can open a new terminal, attach here, restart. If the container maybe, I don't know, sometimes does not react as it should, you can pause, yeah, see details. You can of course stop this and remove. If you say, hey, I don't this container anymore, everything fine, you can remove it, but the file still stays. So if I stop this one now, and yep, so it should stop now, and then I delete the container. I delete forever the container. For me, it's not a problem because I have everything, and I just then click Docker Compose app, and then I have it back. The image, of course, stays. I have to remove it manually, but the volumes for my SV6 dev DB volume, SV6 shop volume stays. So if I run Composer app again, Docker Compose app, this that data will be reused. It's not lost. So if you sometimes think, hey, I want a super clean one, but it always get the old files, what's going on? Go ahead and remove, and then you really get a clean one. It's good to know this. Sometimes if you are new to this Docker containers, sometimes it's kind of confusing, but makes sense. So remove this. Now everything is gone. So if you now compose up a new one, then you get really absolutely fresh data. Good. That's about the Docker container and the tools that are provided by Docker.io. More about the tools, as I mentioned up front, if you go to Docker.io and then a quick start, you see all the additional tools, Adminer, Mailcatcher, PHPMyLog, Xdebug, and npm Composer. So, and of course, the great recommendations to look up how it works, what you can do with this. Here we see the Adminer and some information about this. We see Mailcatcher and some information about Mailcatcher. So go ahead and have a look at the documentation. Good. So thanks. That was a video about the Docker container and Docker.io. Have a great day.